Hi, everybody. Today is December 4th. It's Friday. We've made it through the first week between Thanksgiving and winter break. So we're getting closer to the next vacation that we have from school. There's an important announcement and a link right below this for current seventh graders. The Washington, D.C. trip sign up is due Tuesday, the 15th of December, which is the last Tuesday prior to winter break, in order for you to receive early bird pricing and a couple other advantages. Okay, so make sure your parents, if you're a seventh grader and you're interested in going to Washington, D.C., there's a link there for that. And there's a flyer, and on the flyer, there's a link to sign up. Okay, so make sure you're doing that. If you have any questions or your parents have any questions, Mr. Palguda, his email is below as well, is your contact to answer questions. I've been in a few classrooms this week. I know distance learning is really different, and it's tough. It's tough as a student, it's tough as teachers, but I'm going to give you a couple suggestions as a student for distance learning. Number one, participate. Please participate, okay? When you show up and your camera's off and your microphone's off and you don't put anything in the chat, it's like you're not there. Even though your little icon is there and your name is there, I don't know that you're there. Your teachers don't know that you're there, and you're not participating in class. They don't know what you know and what you can do. So interact with your teachers, interact with your fellow students, turn your camera on. It's really okay, you'll be fine. If you don't want to turn your mic on and say something, type in the chat and answer questions. That interaction will make your classes so much better, will help your teachers understand what you know and you can do. And you guys have great ideas, so make sure that your ideas are heard by your teachers and by your other students, okay? Also, make sure you're staying on top of your assignments, those assignments that your teachers are giving you. All right, so remember, you can do this. Participate, that's key. This day in history, going all the way back to December 4th, 1783. This one is for our 8th grade social studies teachers. Future President George Washington, remember, before he was president, he was the general of the Continental Army. He summoned his officers, the Central Command officers, to a little tavern called Fraunces Tavern in New York City to inform them that he's resigning his commission and returning to civilian life. He thought at that point that the war was over, the peace treaty with Great Britain had been signed, and the British had basically all left New York. And so he was free and clear of his obligation to the military service. So he went from New York City, and he then resigned his commission. He said he was going to be a gentleman farmer. That's what he was going to do, and he was going back to his house in Mount Vernon in Virginia, that's what he was going to do with the rest of his life. So as we know, the rest is history, because after he left in 1783, he did farm for several years, but in 1789, he was coaxed out of retirement and elected as the first president of the United States, a position he held until 1797. So 1789 to 1797. So that's this day in history. Listen, I get those, I don't want you to think I'm just making all of that stuff up. That is coming directly from the History Channel. They actually have a This Day in History, and there's several items. If you're really interested in those, there's plenty more This Day in History items that they have every day. I just pick one of them and use that for you guys. So I'm not making this stuff up. That's coming from the History Channel. I want to make sure they get credit. Listen, have a great day. Have a good weekend, and we'll see you next week.